first review in ages. Hey, I'm Morgan, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Scythe by Neal Shusterman. I just barely finished Scythe not even a week ago, and I buddy read this with Lacey over at Lacey D Bell as well as Melissa at Sassy Ginger Book Obsession. I will link both of their channels in the description. This is the first book in Neal Shusterman's Arc of a Scythe trilogy, and it is a sci-fi dystopian, but more like a utopian story where in this world death has been conquered. There's no war, no famine, no disease, no death. Humans are immortal. But obviously population control is definitely still a necessary thing in this world. A select group of people are appointed the role of scythes, and scythes are the only ones that are able to carry out population control. So killing isn't really a thing that happens in this world because there's no death. One human can't kill another. The only ones that are able to actually end someone's life are scythes by means of gleaning. They have to be appointed and go through an apprenticeship in order to get the license to glean. If one human tried to kill someone else, they would be taken to a nearby revival center and would be brought back in a couple of days. Everyone's bodies have different nanites planted within them, like pain nanites that send opiates throughout the body and heal them faster, so humans in this world don't experience pain and they heal really quickly and they don't die. This follows two characters, Rowan and Citra, and they are the apprentices to a scythe, but only one of them will end up being appointed as a scythe at the end of their apprenticeship. Typically in this world, if you're an apprentice to a scythe, but at the end of your apprenticeship you're not chosen to be ordained as a scythe, you just go home and live out your life. But since Citra and Rowan are the apprentices to the same scythe, which has never happened before in the scythedom, some rebel scythes decide whoever is ordained as the scythe out of the pair of them has to glean the other one. That is definitely a factor of the book that is a constant presence and a threat, and I think that that was a really neat plot device. It's not a spoiler, it's in the synopsis. I ended up giving Scythe a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. I definitely plan on continuing on with this series. Oh my god. This first book is definitely primarily world building. A lot of this book is Neal Shusterman setting up the world that we are diving into in this book. I can't wait to see how he continues this series after building the world so extensively in this first book. I'm hoping as the series progresses it gets more character driven. The only reason that I docked a star from this is that there were some aspects to the story that felt a little unbelievable. Not even aspects of the story, but aspects of a certain character. There were actions that characters had to perform and it just seemed way too easy for them. Very out of character for those people. Citra especially. Citra was probably my favorite out of the two apprentices. Stuff happens. I can't spoil it. I think that this book was wonderfully paced. I am very excited to see how Neal Shusterman continues it. Like I said, the only reason that this didn't get a 5-star from me is because there were some aspects to things that Citra and Rowan had to do and it felt very out of character for them to be able to do things as easily. But other than that, I really enjoyed this world. There's a lot of like political talk and there's a lot of different layers to the scythedom, and you would think that in this world that all the sides would realize like the responsibility that's bestowed upon them and they wouldn't take advantage of that, but there's so many sides in this world that are crooked and greedy and do things for personal gain and glean based off of biases, and then there's a whole group of sides that do mass gleanings. It's a really thought-provoking book. I think that the concept of immortality is something that isn't discussed enough in literature, so whatever it is and it's tackled well, I am a fan. I think that the way Neal Shusterman created this world and created these characters was phenomenally done. I think that if this had been written in like a florally super poetic way, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much, because this type of world needs to be written as grittily as it was. I really enjoyed meeting all the different sides like Faraday and Curie. So in this world, all the sides, once they are ordained, they leave their old name and their old life behind them and they take the name of a patron historic. Some are scientific figures, some are just historical figures. I really enjoyed the parallels between the Scythes with the patron historic that they took the name of. There's a lot of different, like, blatant similarities and parallels between that, which I personally really enjoyed, like, spotting those different things out. It was really neat. I just really enjoyed that parallel, and I, like, researched the patron historics while also reading this in tandem, and that was really neat. I highly recommend you do that if you're not familiar with the patron historics that the Scythes take their names from. I think that's a really cool additive to the story. There's not much I can really say without really diving into spoilers, and I don't think I'm going to do any spoilery discussions until I read this entire trilogy. I definitely recommend you guys pick up this book, especially if you're a fan of the, like, alternate futuristic dystopian sci-fi type stuff. I'm personally not a super big dystopian fan. I really haven't heavily read dystopian since, you know, Divergent and the Hunger Games were really, really big. I haven't been super invested in a dystopian for a really long time, but man, this had me super engrossed the entire time. Doing book reviews are so hard because it's so hard to articulate just how engrossed I was in the story without completely just spoiling the fuck out of it. But I definitely recommend you guys check this book out. I cannot wait to continue on with this series, and I plan on doing full discussions of it in length as I finish the trilogy. But yeah, Scythe by Neal Shusterman, 4 out of 5 stars, phenomenal. It's such a unique premise, and it's something that I was really worried that it wasn't going to be done super well, that it was going to fall flat, and it didn't. This was like Amazon Prime, 2-day free shipping. This shit delivered. It was great. I liked it a lot. But you guys, there you have it. That was my short, sweet little spoiler-free review on Scythe by Neal Shusterman. I hope you enjoyed this review. I haven't done a book review in a really long time. I get very intimidated to do book reviews because I feel like I'm not eloquent enough to be doing them. But I love gushing or griping about the books that I read. So let me know if you want to see more book reviews. If you've read Scythe, if you're planning on reading Scythe, highly recommend you do so. If you like this video, you're more than welcome to leave it a thumbs up if you feel so inclined. Definitely leave me comments because talking to you guys is my actual favorite thing to do. And if you want to see more of my content and more of my mug, you're more than welcome to subscribe. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Like I said, my name is Morgan. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and happy reading. Okay, bye!